As I said that we'll be starting with environment and sustainable development. Our first task is to understand the meaning of the term environment. We need to understand the meaning of the term environment. Any input from your end? What do you think is environment?
So like the things that are surrounding us, air, water,
All right.
the
So normally
nature.
environment means this only, as Vittal said, our immediate surroundings. Whatever surrounds us is called as environment. But if I define it in pure technical terms, I can say it refers to the total planetary inheritance and the totality of all the resources, whether biotic or abiotic. Total planetary inheritance, यानी whatever our planet has inherited from nature, जितना भी हमारे planet को मिला है from the nature, that all is environment. And along with that, I can say that it is totality of all the resources. Country के जितने भी resources हैं, चाहे वो resources biotic है. When I say biotic, I mean living beings, which includes both flora and fauna. Flora means the plantations, and fauna means the animal kingdom, right, including human beings. This all refers to our environment. This is biotic. When I say abiotic means non-living. And when I say non-living, it will include air, it will include water, it will include rocks, mountains, everything that has been blessed to the planet by the nature, that all put together would be called as environment. Children, is that clear, the meaning of the term environment? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as I said, that it will include both biotic and abiotic elements. And biotic means all the living beings, and abiotic implies all the non-living beings. The next question that arises is that what are the functions performed by environment? Environment हमारे लिए क्या-क्या functions perform करता है? Often we say that scientists are exploring that is there any possibility of life on Mars? यहाँ पे scientists are exploring other planets, other satellites की कहीं पर क्या life की possibility है? Mars पर इतने missions जा चुके हैं, the people have visited Mars and they're exploring that is there a possibility of life? यानी Mars पर हमें life ढूंढने की कोशिश करनी पड़ रही है. That means Earth में कुछ तो special है. There is something special about Earth due to which we all are able to live here. We are able to survive. What is that special? क्या special है Earth में which makes it different from the other planets, and as a result the life is possible on Earth and not on other planets? What is that special thing which makes Earth different?
It has an atmosphere.
Environment, right? The environment of the Earth, the conditions that have been created by the nature on the Earth. Atmosphere is certainly a part of environment. Everything put together, that all constitutes environment, and that makes the life possible. So children, environment का सबसे important, the most important function that environment performs is that it sustains life. The most important function is that it sustains life. And when I say it sustains life, I mean that it is only because of environment that the life is possible on our planet. Right? So that is the first and the most important function performed by environment. Not only that it sustains life, but it provides resources also. So the second function that is performed by environment is that it provides resources. Again, all kinds of resources, whether I talk about renewable resources or I talk about non-renewable resources, all sorts of resources are provided to us by environment. I guess you people understand the difference between renewable and non-renewable resources. Can anybody highlight the basic difference between renewable and non-renewable resources? No one? Kareer, can you tell me what is the difference between renewable and non-renewable resources, beta?
So renewable resources are those resources that are renewed uh, over some years, and non-renewable resources are those resources that cannot be generated once consumed properly.
Okay, so what we can say is that renewable resources are those which can be used without the possibility of being exhausted. So they are non-exhaustible resources. ऐसे resources जिनका इस्तेमाल हम कर सकते हैं क्योंकि हमें पता है that they'll not get exhausted, like sunlight, right? Sunlight is a renewable resource. It, howsoever much ever can be consumed, we know that it will not get exhausted. वो खत्म नहीं होगा. So that is a renewable source. On the other hand, what is non-renewable? Something that will get depleted, that will get exhausted. And when we extract such resources, when we utilize such resources, they are exhaustible in nature. So they are non-renewable, right? So that is the basic difference between renewable and non-renewable resources. Environment provides both sets of resources. वो हमें renewable resources भी provide करता है, like sunlight, air, water, etc. Non-renewable भी provide करता है, like fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, etc. Right? So पहला important function environment का, it sustains life. दूसरा बहुत important function, it provides resources. Third thing, it assimilates wastes. It absorbs wastes. Again, what do I mean when I say that environment absorbs wastes? आप planet को तो छोड़ दीजिए, आप अपने घर की बात करिए. Talk about your house, your home, and think that in one day, एक दिन में, आपके घर में, in a small family of let's say 3 to 4 to 5 members, how much waste gets generated? Right from morning, यानी 24 घंटे की ड्यूरेशन में आप लोग कितना वेस्ट जनरेट करते हैं, हम लोग कितना वेस्ट जनरेट करते हैं, सोच कर देखिए. अब हमें लगता है कि वेस्ट का मतलब हमने जो किचन डस्टबिन में या ओवरऑल डस्टबिन में वेस्ट जनरेट किया. नो, दैट इज नॉट जस्ट व्हाट वी जनरेट. द ह्यूमन एक्सक्रीटा, राइट, द वाटर वी यूज फॉर बेथिंग, द वाटर वी यूज फॉर वॉशिंग, ये सारा का सारा वेस्ट ही तो जनरेट कर रहे हैं. आर वी जनरेटिंग ऑल दीज वेस्ट और नॉट? यानी एक दिन में हम लोग कितना वेस्ट जनरेट करते हैं. Planet पर more than 7 billion people are living at present. Imagine how much waste per day is being generated by such humongous population. कितना waste generate होता है? Now the question arises, where does all this waste go? ये सारा waste कहाँ जाता है? It is the environment that absorbs this waste. It is the environment that assimilates this waste. So we can say that other role that environment performs, other function that it performs is assimilation of waste, absorption of waste. Had environment not been absorbing the waste, the earth would have not been a livable place. We would not have been able to live here. It would have been converted into heaps of, wastes. So because the wastes are being absorbed by environment, that is why we are able to live here. So environment का तीसरा सबसे important function, it assimilates or it absorbs waste. Yani these are the three most important functions performed by environment. सबसे पहले, it sustains life. Second, it provides resources, both biotic and abiotic. Third, it absorbs, it assimilates the waste. इसके अलावा कुछ secondary functions भी हैं, जैसे it provides aesthetic services. Now, what is meant by aesthetic services? इसका क्या मतलब है? आप सोचिए, we live in Delhi, है ना? जरा दो चार छुट्टियां हुई नहीं, and we run to, let's say, Shimla, or we go to Mussoorie, or we go to Manali, or this or that place. What is so special about Shimla, Manali, Mussoorie, which is not there in Delhi? क्या स्पेशल है इन जगहों पर जो दिल्ली में नहीं है? The difference lies in the environment, right? The mountains, the scenic beauty which we see there, it soothes our senses. So environment का ये काम भी है कि वो हमें aesthetic services provide करे. लेकिन main functions environment के तीन ही है. It sustains life, it provides resources, and it assimilates the wastes. I hope these three functions are absolutely clear to each and every one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, a very, very important concept, a very important term is coming. मैंने कहा environment sustains life, right? That is the first and the most important function performed by environment. But environment is capable of performing these functions conditionally. ऐसा नहीं है कि non-conditionally environment would be able to sustain the life as much as possible. No. As long as the population of the planet or population of a country is within the carrying capacity of the environment of that country, environment would be able to sustain the life of the people. यहां पर मैंने एक टर्म इस्तेमाल की. मैंने कहा as long as the population of the planet or population of the country is within the carrying capacity of environment. जब तक planet की population, जब तक country की population environment की carrying capacity के अंदर है, तब तक environment अपना sustenance of life वाला function अच्छे से perform कर पाएगा. लेकिन अगर the density of population crosses the carrying capacity of the environment, if it goes beyond the carrying capacity of the environment, environment will fail to sustain. This is exactly what is happening today. आज यही हो. कैसे कह सकते हैं? उसके लिए हमें समझना पड़ेगा what is the meaning of the term carrying capacity. Carrying capacity का क्या मतलब? सबने lift escalators देखे हैं. सबने लिफ्ट में like they would have been into lift also, you all. तो जब हम लिफ्ट में घुसते हैं तो लिफ्ट के अंदर उसकी कैरिंग कैपेसिटी लिखी होती है. Is it written in the lift or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल उसमें लिखा है that the carrying capacity of this lift is let's say 600 kilograms. 600 kg है इस लिफ्ट की कैरिंग कैपेसिटी. As long as the weight in the lift is within the carrying capacity of that 600 किलो या 600 किलो से कम अगर लिफ्ट में वेट है तो would the lift be functioning properly or not? लिफ्ट अपना काम से ठीक से करेगी या नहीं करेगी?
Yes, sir.
Yes. लेकिन अगर the weight in the lift exceeds the carrying capacity, if the number of people exceed the carrying capacity of the lift, what would happen? क्या होगा? Do you think that the lift would still be functioning?
No, sir.
No. Would it be able to perform its most important core function? No. जिस पर्पस के लिए वो लिफ्ट लगाई गई है, क्या वो लिफ्ट वो काम कर पाएगी? बिल्कुल भी नहीं कर पाएगी. क्यों? Because the people exceed the carrying capacity of that. बिल्कुल यही environment के साथ. What is meant by carrying capacity of environment? Listen to me very carefully. Carrying capacity implies the maximum density of population which the environment can sustain for an indefinite period of time. What is the maximum density of population which the environment can sustain for an indefinite period of time? That is called as carrying capacity of the environment. यानी मैक्सिमम कितनी पॉपुलेशन है जिसको एनवायरमेंट एक indefinite period of time तक सस्टेन कर सकता है. If the population is within the carrying capacity of the environment, what would happen? Environment would be able to perform its function of sustenance of life very, very well. अच्छे से कर पाए. But as soon as the population exceeds the carrying capacity, जैसे ही population carrying capacity के beyond जाएगी, what will happen? Environment will start shaking, it will start crumbling, and that is exactly what is happening. Why do we see that, आज से 10 या 15 साल पहले, आप तो छोटे हैं क्या, but now when I look back and see that 15 years back, Delhi was a livable place. It used to be a fun, it used to be good to live in Delhi. But today, the extreme pollution conditions, choked roads, excessive vehicles on the road, everything has made the life here, right? People are unable to breathe. They are suffering from asthmatic diseases. They are suffering from lung-related diseases. They are suffering from respiratory problems. Why? Because the population has exceeded the carrying capacity of the environment. और अगर population carrying capacity के beyond चली जाएगी, तो environment sustenance of life वाला function अच्छे से perform नहीं कर पाए. So am I clear about the meaning of the term carrying capacity or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second function, दूसरा function मैंने आपको बताया, environment provides resources. Both biotic and abiotic resources are provided by the environment to us. Again, the question arises that would the environment be able to provide these resources to us for an indefinite period of time? The answer is no. How long do you think that the environment would be able to provide us the resources? The answer is as long as the rate of extraction of resources is less than the rate of regeneration of resources. On one hand, we are extracting the resources. At the same time, the nature is regenerating the resources. The nature is recreating the resources, right? As long as the rate of extraction is less than the rate of regeneration of resources. Children, are you following what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
So I'm saying that अगर rate of extraction कम है और rate of regeneration ज्यादा है, तो resources कभी खत्म नहीं होंगे and environment हमें resources provide करता रहेगा. लेकिन अगर rate of extraction ज्यादा हो जाए as compared to rate of regeneration, if the rate of extraction exceeds the rate of regeneration, what would happen? A time would come when all the resources will get exhausted and the environment will fail to perform this function as well. It will not be able to provide us with sufficient amount of resources. भाई सीधी सी बात है. Imagine that it is the case of an individual. मेरा case. मेरे पास कुछ wealth है. Let us suppose I have a wealth of 1 crore rupees, right? अब if I'm earning also, मैं उस wealth में हर महीने कुछ contribute भी करता हूँ और कुछ निकालता भी. If my contribution is more than extraction, if my regeneration is more than extraction, that wealth will never get over. मेरी आने वाली पीढ़ियों को भी ये wealth मिलेगी, right? लेकिन if my rate of extraction is more than the rate of regeneration, मैं हर महीने इस wealth में add करता हूँ 1 लाख रुपए, निकाल लेता हूँ 2 लाख रुपए. What would happen? Within 100 months, 100 महीने के अंदर मेरी ये wealth zero हो जाएगी, खत्म हो जाएगी. Are you getting that? मेरी बात समझ में आई है कि नहीं आई है?
Yes, sir.
So the same happens with the environment as well. यही environment के साथ भी होता है. As long as the rate of regeneration is more than the rate of extraction, जिस rate से हम extract कर रहे हैं वो rate कम है, जिस rate से resources regenerate हो रहे हैं वो rate ज्यादा है, environment would be able to provide us the resources for an indefinite period of time. लेकिन अगर हमारा rate of extraction ज्यादा है, rate of regeneration कम है, तो environment would fail to perform this function. Environment ये function perform नहीं कर पाएगा. It will fail to provide us with sufficient amount of resources. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तीसरा फंक्शन जो मैंने आपको बताया, थर्ड फंक्शन विच आई, it absorbs waste, it assimilates waste. Environment waste absorb करता है, बिल्कुल करता है waste absorb. लेकिन these days you would be finding, अगर आप लोगों ने कहीं देखा हो, when you go to Haryana via this bypass, Karnal bypass, वहां पर बिल्कुल bypass के दोनों तरफ landfill areas. Has anybody visited that area ever? जब यहाँ से हमें सोनीपत, पानीपत, करनाल और अंबाला जाना होता है, चंडीगढ़, तो यहाँ दिल्ली से निकलते ही मुकरबा चौक पर there is a landfill on both the sides. Has anybody seen it ever?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what is it? वो क्या है? वहां पर जो दोनों तरफ ऊंचे ऊंचे पहाड़ बने हुए हैं, ऐसा लगता है दिल्ली में पहाड़ है, क्या वो एक्चुअली पहाड़ है?
So garbage.
वो पूरा कचरा है. और ये सिर्फ एक लैंडफिल एरिया है. दिल्ली में ऐसे कम से कम 20 लैंडफिल एरियाज, राइट? यानी कचरा जनरेट हो रहा है, गार्बेज वेस्ट इज बीइंग जनरेटेड, एंड एनवायरमेंट इज अनएबल टू अब्सॉर्ब दैट. दैट इज व्हाई वी आर एबल टू सी इट. वो हमें नजर आ रहा है क्योंकि एनवायरमेंट उस कचरे को अब्सॉर्ब नहीं कर पा रहा है. क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा है कचरा अब्सॉर्ब? Because the waste generated by us, by the people of the country, is beyond the absorptive capacity of the environment. So another term that is coming up is absorptive capacity of environment. पहले हमने पढ़ा carrying capacity, यानी कितनी population को carry कर सकता है environment. अब हम पढ़ रहे हैं absorptive capacity of environment. What is the capacity of the environment to assimilate the waste? कितना waste absorb कर सकता है environment? That is called as absorptive capacity. As long as the waste generated by us is within the carrying capacity of the environment, environment would be able to assimilate the waste very, very well. But if the waste generated by us exceed the absorptive capacity, अगर हम जो waste generate कर रहे हैं वो environment की absorptive capacity के beyond है, उसके आगे है, उसके बाहर है, तो क्या होगा? What is going to happen? Environment will fail to assimilate the waste. It will fail to perform its function of assimilation of waste. Right? Again, I would say that this is what is happening at this. I hope you people have understood what is absorptive. जैसे एक sponge होता है ना, sponge, कहीं टेबल पर हल्का पानी गिर गया, आपने sponge लगाया, and you would find that the sponge is able to absorb the water. उस स्पॉन्ज की एक अब्सॉर्प्टिव कैपेसिटी है, एक सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर वो अब्सॉर्ब कर सकता है. टेबल पर पानी गिरा हुआ है, आपने उसे साफ किया, स्पॉन्ज ने अब्सॉर्ब कर लिया. लेकिन एक पानी से भरी हुई बाल्टी में अगर मैं उस स्पॉन्ज को रख दूं और सोचूं कि ये स्पॉन्ज सारा पानी अब्सॉर्ब कर लेगा, डू यू थिंक दैट द स्पॉन्ज would be able to absorb that entire water?
No, sir.
No. Why? Because the water is much above the absorptive capacity of the sponge. Likewise, as long as the waste generated by the people of the country is within the absorptive capacity of the environment, environment would be able to absorb the waste. नजर नहीं आएगा कचरा, सब environment assimilate कर लेगा. लेकिन अगर waste generated exceeds the absorptive capacity, we will find that environment will fail to perform the function of waste assimilation. I hope all the three functions and conditions of performance is clear to everybody.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. Now let us talk about that. What are the reasons behind the environmental crisis? हालांकि मैंने डिस्कस कर ही लिया है कि population has exceeded much above the absorptive capacity of the much above the carrying capacity of the environment. हमारी कंट्री की जो हमारी कंट्री की नहीं, even if I talk about the world, दुनिया की जो population है वो environment की carrying capacity के beyond चली गई. So that is one of the main reasons due to which environment is not able to perform its functions well, and that is one of the major reasons for environmental crisis. Not only that, industrial revolution. रैपिड इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, देयर इज अ मैड रेस, मतलब एक तो होता है नीड और एक होता है ग्रीड. It is not the need, rather it is the greed of the world that is causing extensive industrial revolution. और आपको मालूम है जब इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन होगा तो इट विल लीड टू इंक्रीज इन द डिमांड फॉर एनवायरमेंटल रिसोर्सेज. एनवायरमेंटल रिसोर्सेज की डिमांड लगातार बढ़ती जाएगी, सप्लाई लिमिटेड है, तो दैट वुड लीड टू ओवर यूज, दैट वुड लीड टू मिस यूज ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल रिसोर्सेज and would lead to environmental crisis also. The rate at which the resources are being extracted, the extensive extraction of the resources, that is again one of the core causes of environmental crisis. The rate of extraction is far above the rate of regeneration, which is causing exhaustion of resources. धीरे धीरे resources खत्म होते जा रहे हैं. अब देखो resources खत्म हो रहे हैं. On one hand we are saying coal खत्म होता जा रहा है, पेट्रोल खत्म होता जा रहा है. एक प्रॉब्लम तो ये है. और दूसरी प्रॉब्लम, अगर कोल खत्म हो गया, अब आप सोचो हमारी कंट्री में 72% of the electricity we people are using is generated by coal. आज अगर कोल खत्म हो जाए तो what would happen? Country will be going into dark. Are you getting that? Therefore, scientists, inventors, they are continuously working on finding out alternates of coal. कि अगर कोल खत्म हो जाएगा तो what are the alternates through which electricity could be generated? Now, this research, this inventions, these discoveries, they are not cost free. इनके ऊपर बहुत खर्च करना पड़ता है. इमेजिन करिए अगर हम कोल को रैशनली इस्तेमाल कर रहे होते तो हमें कोल एग्जॉशन की चिंता नहीं करनी पड़ती. कोल एग्जॉशन की चिंता अगर नहीं करनी पड़ती तो जितना पैसा हम कोल के ऑल्टरनेटिव्स ढूंढने पर खर्च कर रहे हैं, ये पैसा हम किसी और डेवलपमेंटल काम में खर्च करते. इसका मतलब जो पैसा हमें यहाँ जबरदस्ती खर्च करना पड़ रहा है, that is nothing but the opportunity cost of environmental damage we are causing. है ना? What is opportunity cost? The next best alternate lost. Had we not been working on development of alternates of coal, we would have spent this money on something else, something more logical, something more important. But क्योंकि कोल खत्म होने वाला है, we have to work upon that. हमें वो पैसा जो कि कहीं और ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिवली यूटिलाइज हो सकता था, हम उस पैसे को इस रिसर्च पर खर्च कर रहे हैं. So we can say that the opportunity cost of environmental damage is very high. We are paying a big price. हम एक बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुका रहे हैं environmental damage की. Are you able to follow what I'm saying or not?
Yes, sir.
दुनिया में जो consumption standards हैं, very affluent. The people, if I talk about Mukesh Ambani, let's say, they are a family of 4-5 people, 4-5 लोगों की family है. And I guess you must have heard about the house of Mukesh Ambani. क्या नाम है उनके घर का? There is a name of that building. I am forgetting that name. I think it's Ontila. Yes.
ये से था.
Ontila. Ontila. Antilla. That is the name of his house. आपको मालूम है उस घर में कितनी stories हैं? How many stories are there in that house? कितनी मंजिल का घर है मुकेश अंबानी का? It is the most expensive building in India. सबसे महंगी बिल्डिंग है. It has 27 floors, 27 floors हैं, जिसमें से जो top floor है, that is helipad. You know, helicopter can directly land on it.